Get ready for the revolution, the generation evolution. Get ready for the revolution, the generation evolution. And now join Blake, Christian, and Mark as they have fun going through the crazy wrestling world. Get ready for the revolution, the generation evolution. Get ready for the revolution, the generation evolution. And now let's start the show.
Live from the Main Event Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you tuned in to the Generation Evolution special presentation for Friday, April 24th, 2026. I'm your host, Blake. I am here by myself today. And, the reason we're doing this is because I want to talk about all the indie shows that I watched over the weekend. And I really didn't want to bore the guys. So I'm going to do it by myself today. It's going to go off on Friday because yesterday, if you missed it, if you're here on TikTok and you're watching this on TikTok yesterday, over on the show, we did a full recap of WrestleMania week, plus the extended media mode, a whole bunch of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff going on yesterday's show, so go tune into that. As for right now, it is just me, and we are going to go through the weekend. And I watched a lot of wrestling in a matter of 4 days. A lot of it was within 1 day. I had my birthday weekend, and if I started to explain this on last week's show, it was my birthday weekend, and I took off. I was off from Thursday to Monday, and Christian had to meet on Thursday night, so I didn't get to watch a lot of stuff on Thursday night. But and also Friday we were doing tornadoes and middle of everything else, and I think we're talking about that on yesterday's show. So really, it was a lot of stuff going on, but I still crammed in 11 shows, including one WWE thing. I watched a lot. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go through every single match, every single show. What I am going to talk about is the experience watching the shows, what I watched, how I watched it, when I watched it, and the best and the worst coming out, and some WTF moments and disappointing stuff. And get out of here in less than an hour. Let's do it. All right. So I did not watch anything on Wednesday. I was busy, and the time difference makes things a little weird. Plus, you want to watch Dynamite. We talked about that on yesterday's show, talking about Darby Allin. So that is them. I'm just adjusting my camera here. So that is that. So that was Wednesday. So I did not watch anything like this. So Thursday, I had an appointment with my oncologist, but I did throughout the day throughout the morning watch the Dragon Gate, the Gate of the City show. And the first Dragon show, I watched it a couple of years actually, and I enjoyed myself. It was good. I had to explain to people what I was watching because I was watching on my tablet. I was at doctor's appointment. It was a weird day. I wanted to get through it in the morning. I really wanted to get through it. And I will say the next match of the show definitely was the main event, was the Jonathan Christian and Yamato, and that was fantastic. Overall, it was a good show. It was a good start. It was obviously a Wednesday show. They were going to go crazy. I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it was, but it's what it was. I did get home right in time. I got to watch one of these shows live, and it was Progress, Chapter 193, Las Vegas 2. I did get to watch this show live. It was the only one I got to really watch. I'm really hoping that next year, I know Wrestlemania is in Saudi, and I'm hoping whatever they have planned in this country is in a better time zone for me so that I can watch more of this stuff live during the day. I really want to. I really want to watch more live, but, when shows are going on at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm old, and I'm also on Friday, Saturday nights, I'm high, and I don't want to stay up late. So, it happens, but we'll get into everything in a few minutes. Progress, Chapter 193, Las Vegas 2. They really get better show titles for these Vegas shows if we're going to keep doing Vegas shows. But anyway, I got two matches of the show. One was Rio versus Brooke Dixon. I loved this match. It was a strong style 16 match. I absolutely loved this match. Like, I thought it was great. I love both these women anyway. Thought this action was awesome. They beat the shit out of each other. I really, really enjoyed it. High recommend. Other one was the main event for the Progress Championship. It was Man Like DeReese versus Michael Oku. I didn't know what to expect going into this, but I really thought it was good. Like, I thought it was fun. It was enjoyable. A really good way to culminate the show. And that was that. I have two moments I have written down as what the fuck. One, they had a whole storyline in this thing about Paul Hauser, how they call him on there, as the Progress POTUS champion. How he never defends the title outside of the U.S. and only defends it 3 times, and it's never in the UK. And how they get the belts off of him, and they hold this whole storyline, and then he still won. Why? I don't know. I have no idea why. But he still won. And then they beat the shit out of him afterwards. I didn't get it. I didn't get any of it. I don't understand what they're doing. And hopefully by next year's Mania, he's no longer on the belt. We'll have the conversation again. It's very funny how we're talking about celebrities in WWE. Paul Walter Hauser was all over these shows. No one's questioning it anymore. That's the crazy part. Anyway, the other question I have: why the blue with Brody Lee Jr. in the corner of Man Like This? My favorite part was Andy was working out while watching this live. She's doing her normal daily workouts, and I'm on the treadmill. I'm in the living room and I'm watching the show. And all of a sudden, Brody comes out and she's like, "What is he doing here on a school day?" Very, very funny. We'll get more into Brody in a little while, but is someone can answer me why the hell he was there? It was never explained to me. So that was it for the collective for me for on Thursday because I had other things to do. I had to meet, so I had things to do. But I did squeeze in WWE actually aired a couple of matches from the world, and I was hoping they would do this throughout the weekend, and they didn't. I was really hoping they would, and I kept on looking on the YouTube page, and they didn't air anything else. They did air the two matches I did see were Ava Fire for his Shannon Paxley and the Motor Machine Gun versus Fraxium. They were both fun. It was weird because it was in the convention hall, and you could see people walking around. I've been to shows at State Fair where it's exactly this experience where the match is happening and then people are walking around on the outside, and it didn't work. It didn't work on YouTube. Maybe that's why they didn't air any of the matches. That's what it was. But I will say, I did get a chuckle because it was Jeremy Borash and Robert Stone on the call doing a Motor City Machine Guns match at WrestleMania weekend. That is a crazy sentence if you're a TNA history person like I am. So, all right. So Friday, I was really, really busy doing normal Friday stuff. So I only got one show in, and it was House of Glory Las Vegas Culture Clash. This one, I've never watched. I haven't watched the House of Glory show in a couple of years, and I went in with this card. This card looked really good on paper. Kind of wasn't that good at the end of the day. Really wanted more out of it. Wasn't a great match of the show by far. One of the best matches I saw all weekend. This is not even close. Amazing Red versus Bandita. Why Amazing Red is not on a national program right now, I have no idea. He can still go. He's still one of the best wrestlers in the fucking world. He doesn't get the credit for it, and he's just out there doing indie shows. Saw him a couple of times this weekend. I don't understand why Amazing Red is not literally all over the place. He should be one of the biggest stars in the world. For some reason, he's not. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Maybe there's some other reason that I'm not aware of as to why Amazing Red is not like the biggest person in the world. Maybe he doesn't want it. I don't know. But somebody please explain this to me because he looked incredible this whole fucking weekend. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Anyway, go on your way to see this match if you can. It was great. So I went in. I was really hoping for good things from Shotzi Blackheart versus Charlie. And I said John, who you heard from last week. I was very disappointed. Like I expected more. Maybe it's like my fault. Because Dakota Kai obviously hadn't been in the ring in a long time, and I expected more from this match, and I was highly disappointed. More on Shotzi later though, but I just was disappointed. So Friday we were dealing with weather, and we had a tornado, and we had SmackDown. We were a little in the studio in the basement because there was a tornado right going through our neighborhood. We talked about this on yesterday's show, but it was a chaotic day, so I didn't get to anything else. So Saturday, I had nothing on my schedule until WrestleMania night 1. So I spent my day watching shows. First up, I watched Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 15. And I don't know. I didn't enjoy the show much in the last couple of years. Maybe it was the fact that there was a bunch of red people I didn't know. Maybe the fact that it was also first thing in the morning. But I don't know. I could not get into this show nearly as much as I have in the past. I will say I was at to see Pink Dunn. I've been wondering where he's been. It was a nice surprise to see him again. Someone's laughing at that joke. Anyway, fights of the show for me, I have two. The obvious ones, like I'm looking to do, was Charlie Dempsey versus Tiffany Thatcher. I really enjoyed that fight. For some reason, Charlie Dempsey's at a whole different level when he's in Bloodsport, and I can't complain about it because it's really, really good. The other fight I really, really loved, and it was the one I was most looking forward to, as I said on the show last week, it was Natty Neidhart versus Shayna Baszler. This was fucking great. I really loved this. There was blood, there was craziness, there was drama. It was fucking great. I don't know why both people had like 18 people in their corners, but I really fucking enjoyed this match a lot. The other thing that came out of the show was that Josh Barnett announced the end of Bloodsport as we know it at the end of the show. I've heard from other places. I think it was Sean Radican over at the Torch said he's hoping this is a situation like where Matt Riddle handed it off to Jeff Barnett. The Jeff Barnett handed it off to somebody else. I know Rich fans suggest they want to just give it to Natty. I don't know. I hope this is not the last Bloodsport, but I guess we'll find out next year. Next up on my lineup, it was the shortest show on my entire lineup. It was Stardom, American Dream 2026. I have never watched a Stardom show because I don't have time during the year to watch a lot of extra stuff. I watch New Japan. I don't have time to add more to my lineup. I watch enough stuff. I have a life. I have 100 things going on. I just don't have the time. And also on Wrestlemania weekend, they always make you charge extra to watch Stardom. So I'm not going to spend $25 extra on a show don't have 100% interest in for a company I don't follow. But this year was part of the collective, and it was a lot of AEW people on it. I'm like, why not? I'm going to watch Stardom. Can I say, it was only 2 hours, and I really enjoyed myself. I thought this was fun, and a lot of things made more sense to me, like me this year Cowboys gimmicks and stuff like that. Made so much more sense to me. I really, really enjoyed the show. As for matches of the show, I have, problem is there was only 5 matches, and 3 of them were highlights for the weekend for me. Go figure. Athena versus Rhea. Athena versus Rena. Alex Windsor versus Sally Ida, and Chris Statlander and the Babes of Wrath versus Neo Genesis. The last half of the show, that's literally the last hour of the show, was awesome. It was so much fun. It was entertaining. It was just fun to watch. I know this is probably the last time we're going to see Babes of Wrath together for a while, but hey, I'm all for it. It was so much fun. Finally, as the pre-show was going on for Wrestlemania, about an hour before that, I started watching Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Multiverse 2026. And I've never watched a Maple Leaf Pro show. I've always wanted to. When I saw the time, I'm like, okay, it's about 2 hours or so. I'll get this in before I tune out the pre-show, and end up watching the second half on my tablet while I'm making dinner, and the pre-show is on. I love this show. I'm not even going to bullshit you from beginning to end. I thought the show was great. I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was action packed. I thought it was not stop. I may start watching this company if I have a chance. The problem is I don't have a lot of time left, but I would love to get more into this. I'll pay attention more to this company in the future. I really thought this was awesome. They did a great job. Matches of the show. Let's see, we have Hector versus Jonathan Gresham. That was awesome. Giselle Shaw versus Killer Kelly versus Persephone versus Shotzi Blackheart. I am becoming a massive Persephone fan. Absolutely loving her. This match was, oh my God, these 4 women kicked each other's asses, and it was entertaining as hell to watch. Amazing Red. They're again. And Masquerade Dorada and Mystic Hill versus the Rascals was the main event. Who the hell drew this match up? Who the hell started that coming? What a great way to end it. I'm literally watching this match while the pre-show's going on, and I'm screaming at this on my tablet. It was that entertaining for me. I had a lot of fun, and I would say go out of your way to watch this one, because if you can, watch this show. I know it's part of the Palm Springs package, but it was worth the price of admission for the PAL package just for this show alone. And that package also had the Stardom show and the House of Glory show. But this show right now was worth the price of admission alone, and that's saying a lot how picky I am with spending money on things. So that goes into Sunday. Sunday I kind of slept in. Not gonna bullshit you. I slept in. I was tired. I was having a rough weekend mentally, and I slept in. And then I had to get my workouts done and get a shower in, and by the time I got all that done, I wasn't having time for one show, and it was WrestleCon Mark Hitchcock Memorial Super Show 2026. I know this is going to sound bad. I don't know who Mark Hitchcock is. They try to explain it. I still don't know who he is. I've watched these shows for years. I have it in my notes in front of me. This is a weird show. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was getting ready for night 2 of WrestleMania. Maybe I was out of it. I was out of it most of the weekend. I was bored during half the show. It was blah. And I've seen better shows of the Super Show in the past. And I know the headlines like, here's a 6-man tag at the end. Like, and that got, main event was supposed to be Leon Slater versus Ricochet, and ended up being Demand. And Demand was involved. It was weird. It was a weird show. I do have a couple highlights. For no reason, just because I enjoyed it. It was Mark Day versus Masato Tanaka. What the hell was that? I really had no clue where that came from, and I really, really had fun watching that. And the Swirl, who I do not like their name, but they're a good team. Billy Christian, Lee Johnson versus Subculture, Flash Booker Webster, and Mark Andrews had no right to be as good as it was. Had no right. And that was good. The worst match for me on the show was the opening match. It was supposed to be the Headbangers versus Rhino and Heath. It ended up being Mosh ended up being hurt. So they replaced Mosh with Swoggle. It was Swoggle and Thrasher versus Heath and Rhino, and it was bad. Not the worst match I watched all weekend. And I don't even think I even wrote down the worst match I watched all weekend. But that was bad. And then I got the Wrestlemania night too. Monday morning, my birthday. I got up super early to do a couple of Peloton classes, and then I had 3 shows left on my lineup. 3. And here they are. I watched these in order. I watched the first one a little early. I paused it a couple times because I was doing classes, and I had to bring the kid to school. Then I watched the other 2, and the other 2 were great. But the first one, on my Monday morning, on my birthday, I'm so sad. New Japan, Las Vegas Invitational. What the fuck was that show? What the fuck was that? That was not a New Japan show. They had New Japan announcers. They had some New Japan wrestlers. What the fuck did I watch? I wrote it in my notes perfectly. The most disappointing, awful show I've seen all weekend. That was not an NXT, any New Japan show. That was a GCW show, a deathmatch show that I don't like. The reason I didn't watch a couple of shows is because I'm not in the death matches. I'm not. But apparently, New Japan did a deathmatch show with the New Japan banner. GCW. I don't understand it. It was terrible. I wasted my time. And by the end of the show, I was questioning my sanity. Like legitimately questioning my own fucking sanity. I don't know why I wasted my time with that show. I should have known better when I looked at the card. But I went in and watched it because it was New Japan, and it was terrible. I love Best Match. It was all bad. It was terrible. And I'm not a deathmatch person. So I'm just being honest with you. I'm not a deathmatch person. All right. Let's get to the last 2 shows in my lineup, and boy, these were fun. Joy Janela, Spring Break 10. I wrote in my notes here, really enjoyed this show. Like, it was a couple of I'll start with the match that I was mad about. It was a DCW World Title match. It was RDS Kroger versus Hayabusa. Again, not a deathmatch person. So that was kind of mad for me. It was right in the middle of the show, at least. So it wasn't like it was the main event of the show. It was a nice little palate cleanser and all the things. But again, not my cup of tea. Other than that, this show was so much fun. I had so much fun watching it. Some of the stuff should not have been as much fun as it was. I really enjoyed myself. Match of the week, match of the show for me. First of all, Jack Perry and Marco Stunt. Luchasaurus came out or Jack Perry came out with Luchasaurus on the bus. Versus KZ Arzo and Sam Stackhouse. This was fun. That's it. Not great, not fantastic, but fun and entertaining. And sometimes that's the point. I just wanted some fun. And it was loose. It was good. It was actually nice to see Jack Perry having fun. And apparently after the conversation we had last week about Marco Stein. Marco Stein's not retiring apparently after this match. Then a match that's like a couple of years a full year it was finally happening is Effy versus Alley Cat to lose ECW. Spoiler for those who didn't see it, Alley Cat did lose. But damn, this was a great match. The 2 of them have amazing chemistry. And it goes against my deathmatch thing because this made sense to me. This should be a deathmatch. It's a blood feud. The 2 of them don't like each other anymore. It's a loser leaves a GCW match. It should be violent. It should be bloody. But I really enjoyed it. And maybe Allie will go somewhere else. Maybe AEW, maybe somewhere else. I really love Allie, and she's extremely attractive, and I'm really entertaining by her. So I would love her to go like to AEW or something. So the last match I have on here, I went in with low expectations. I didn't know what to expect. And it was Brody Lee Jr. versus Joey Janela. Wow. The fact that Brody's only 14 is insane to me. How is he only 14? When he gets to 18, he's going to be awesome. He's got the charisma. He's got some skill. He has some raw skill. You can't teach some of the shit I saw. It was really good. Joey Janela put on a show as well. If you haven't seen this, go out of your way and try to find it. It was really, really good. Like, it was really entertaining, and I thought they did a great job. Brody did win. The crowd went absolutely crazy for him. And I applaud it. I absolutely applaud it, and I didn't expect to like it. I really didn't expect it because I'm not a huge fan of people so young wrestling matches. And I really, really love this. I really did. In my notes here, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was good. But I'm saying, what the fuck? It was the Sandman versus the Invisible Man in Sandman's retirement match. This had no right to be this entertaining. No right to be this damn entertaining. And it was. And I didn't expect to see Mick Foley. And overall, I thought it was awesome. And it was really fun. But also, what the fuck did I just watch for 15, 20 minutes? But it's what it is. Go figure. So definitely, if you have not watched the show, I know it's like 5 hours. That's why I did it on Monday, because it's like a 5-hour show. It was really good. Really, 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 really good. Finally, my last best show of the day, I did this on purpose. I'm like, if spring break's gonna be bloody, it's gonna be a little nuts, like it was the last couple of years. And I wasn't about the clusterfuck. I'm gonna end it with the gayest show of the weekend. And that would be Effy's Big Gay Brunch. And boy, did they go gay this year. They went ultimate gay, ultimate queer. We had girls making out with girls. We had guys making out with guys. We had bears. We had this. We had that. It was fucking great. And it's exactly what I needed on this show. It's exactly what I needed on this show. Exactly what I needed on this day. I needed it. I needed this show so bad. It was fan-fucking-tastic. If you've never watched a Big Gay Brunch before, you should. You should. Because they don't give fucks. They don't give any fucks. And they assume you're going to come in and know what the fuck's happening. And they don't care if you don't. Because they're going to do their show. And they're going to have fun. And they're not going to care. And you're going to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, they don't care either. So that's that. Highlights for me. I wrote down here. Alley Cat versus Charlie Evans versus Kid Bandit versus Steph DeLander. I love Charlie. I love Allie. Apparently this is Kid Bandit's last Big Gay Brunch. This is Allie's last Big Gay Brunch now. Fucking hell! These four went nuts. It was great. Not just a great women's match, but a great match for this show, because you needed something like, because of another match I'm going to mention, you needed something like, almost like, I need a really good wrestling match, and then we were going to have a really crazy gimmick match in a little while. So, hell yeah on this match, by far. Pharaoh's Twin Gauntlet match had no right to be so damn entertaining. That was one of the gayest things I've ever seen, and it's a compliment. Absolute fucking compliment. I really thought it was awesome. A lot of fun. I will say though, if you've never watched a Big Gay Brunch, don't go out of your way to watch this match first. Because there was a lot of chaos. And the only reason I enjoyed it though, because I've been watching these for years. But yeah, I enjoyed that so much. Then there was ZS Gay, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Effy. A dream match of Effy's. Fuck. That was cool. That was really cool. Also, Effy wrestled. Not just like weird stuff. He actually wrestled. And then ZSJ did weird shit. And it was fun. And he kept being referred to as ZS Gay. Go out of your way. This was awesome. And finally, the main event. The main event should have been, I thought the main event was going to be ZS Gay versus Effy. It ended up being Dark Sheik versus Nyla Rose. And this was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was entertaining. It was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I see why this is the main event, because nothing's going to follow it. So, absolutely Oh, absolutely. I say go out of your way to watch Effy Big Gay Brunch. Enjoy the spring break. By far. Overall, that was my weekend. Altogether, I had a lot of fun this weekend. I had a lot of fun, and I watched a lot of wrestling. On yesterday's show, we talked about Wrestlemania weekend, all that kind of stuff. But overall, I really had a lot of fun this year, and I wasn't burnt out. The last 2 years, I got burnt out by the end. Maybe because I took a little bit of break on Sunday. I did not get burnt out this year, despite all the shows I watched, and despite everything else. But it may be because I was a little out of it over the weekend. But like, I did not get burnt out, and I really, really enjoyed myself. All right, so I'm gonna keep this short, and we're gonna get out of here. I can only ramble so much on my own here. Plus, I did a long show yesterday, so you're going to hear a lot of me. Plus, you had a lot of me last week. You had 6 shows from me last week. So, we're going to close the show with a little bit of goofiness. This is Jeff Goldblum, Symphony and the Mildred Central Orchestra singing If I Only Had a Brain. It randomly popped up on my Spotify, and I'm like, I'm about to share this on the podcast when I'm by myself. Or with John. One or the other. So that's what we're going to close with. You can find us here. Let's go through all our plugs here. First of all, go find Christian at the Villains and Riley at the Villains Day 67. Yesterday he was here and he told you all about what he's up to. And I know he got the new games and even having a good time. So go and join him over there. You can find us on all podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Mainly, please rate, review the show. The more you do that, the better it is for us. And then the more people find us and the more people get attention to us. So more about, please. Then you can find us on all social media platforms. Mainly Instagram and TikTok are our main hubs, but I'm trying to post in more places. I know more people are everywhere, and I notice if I put it on other places, people do, but I'm not a Twitter person anymore. So I gotta find places to put the show. But you can find us on all platforms at Generation Evolution 00. Do not forget 00. And also, as I explained on yesterday's show, I have a brand new website, personal website, and you can find my entire podcast history and all the places I've done and all the places I've been. And then I just want to explain to people, look, I've been doing this for a long time. And I can now find everything I've done or doing over at podlegend76.blogspot.com or at this QR code right here on the screen. That being said, next week we'll be back to discuss New Japan Wrestling at Koku 2026. And the guys will be here with me for that. Till then, thank you all for listening to me ramble for half an hour about this crazy wrestling weekend. If you missed our Wrestlemania talk, go back to yesterday's show. Till then, thank you all for watching and this is Blake, and you've been tuned into the Generation Evolution. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for joining us inside the Generation Evolution. We'll be back next week.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.